Biometric method of identification. The term biometrics is derived from the Greek word bio means life and metric means to measure. Biometrics is the measurement and statistical analysis of people's physical and behavioral characteristics. The first scientific method of biometric identification was developed in the laboratories of the prison of Paris by Alphonse, who created an identification system called anthropometry. It was based on human skeleton does not change from the 20th year. Every skeleton is different for every individual. Physical characteristics. These characteristics are derived from a direct measurement of a part of human body. Examples: fingerprints, hand geometry, retina, iris, face. Behavioral characteristics. These characteristics based on an action performed by an individual. They are indirect measurement of the characteristic of the human form. Examples: voice, signature. 1. Fingerprints. All fingerprints have unique characteristic and pattern. A normal fingerprint pattern is made up of line and space. These lines are called ridges while the space between the ridges are called valleys. The fingerprint is the impression of the frictional ridges found on the surface of finger. Fingerprint identification is based on the distance between valleys and frictional ridges that appear on the finger. Study of fingerprint is called dactyloscopy. The fingerprint begin to develop in the 10th week of gestation and are completed by the 24th week. Fingerprint remain unchanged during lifetime. No two fingers have same fingerprint of same person. Types of fingerprint. There are 3 types of fingerprint. 1. Plastic fingerprint. This type of impression is generally formed on semi-solid surface. 2. Visible or patent fingerprint. Patent fingerprint made when fingers have been covered with blood, dirt, oil, paint, etc. 3. Latent or invisible or chance fingerprint. This fingerprint does not seen with naked eyes. Search of fingerprint. The search of fingerprint should be systematic. The surface are carefully examined with light oblique light. Sometime radiation like UV, IR are also used for the detection of fingerprint. Method of making latent print visible. There are following 2 methods. 1. Chemical method. Iodine fuming, anhydrous, silver nitrate, superglue fuming. 2. Powder method. Black powder and white powder. 2. Hand geometry. Every human hand is unique. Human hand, especially human palm, contains some characteristics that can be used for personal identification. These characteristics mainly include thickness of palm area and width, thickness and length of fingers. In 2002, 30 global features of hand geometry defined. These features are as follows. Diagram of hand geometry. 1. Thumb length. 2. Index finger length. 3. middle finger length 4, ring finger length 5, little finger length 6, thumb width 7, index finger width 8, middle finger width 9, ring finger width 10, little finger width 11, thumb circle radius 12, index circle radius lower 13, index circle radius upper 14, middle circle radius lower 15, middle circle radius upper 16, ring circle radius lower 17, ring circle radius upper 18, little finger circle radius lower 19, little finger circle radius upper 20, thumb perimeter 21, index finger perimeter 22, middle finger perimeter 23, ring finger perimeter 24, little finger perimeter 25, thumb area 26, index finger area 27, middle finger area 28, ring finger area 29, little finger area 30, largest inscribed circle radius. 3. Palm vein. Palm vein authentication uses the vascular pattern of an individual's palm as personal identification data. This methods work by comparing the pattern of vein in the palm which appear as a blue of a person. Vascular patterns are unique to each individual. Since the vascular pattern exists inside the body, so they cannot be stolen. Therefore this method is more secure than other method. Pattern of blood vessel in palm. Principle: hemoglobin in blood is oxygenated in the lungs and carries oxygen to the tissue through arteries. After releases of oxygen to the tissue, the deoxidized hemoglobin returns to the heart through the veins. These two types of hemoglobin have different rates of absorbency. Deoxidized hemoglobin absorbs light at a wavelength of about 760 nm in the near-infrared region. When the palm is illuminated with near-infrared light, the deoxidized hemoglobin in the palm vein absorbs this light and causing the vein to appear as a black pattern. This vein pattern is extracted by image processing and registered. Advantages: palm has no color, so it is easier to photograph its vascular pattern. The palm has also no significant variation in skin color compared with fingers or back of the hand. This method is highly accurate because the pattern of vein in the palm is complex and unique to each individual. 4. Retina Scan. In this method, retina is used for identification, which is on the back of the eye. This method is based on the blood vessel pattern in the retina of eye. Retina vessel present from the birth do not change during the life. Individual blood vessel in the eye can be detected using the retinal scanner. Principle: the blood vessel that the retina provide a unique pattern. Since the infrared energy is absorbed faster by blood vessel in the retina than by surrounding tissue, it is used to illuminate the eye retina. Analysis of the enhanced retinal blood vessel image then take place to find characteristic pattern. 5. Iris scan. This method of recognition is new. Iris is a muscle within the eye that regulates the size of pupil, controlling the quantity of light that enters the eye. It is the colored portion of eye. Coloring is based on the amount of melatonin pigment within the muscle. Although the color and structure of eye is genetically linked but patterns are not, an individual's iris are unique and structurally distinct, which allow it to be used for recognition. Iris imaging requires use of a high-quality digital cameras. Nowadays, commercial iris cameras typically use infrared light to illuminate the iris without harming the eye. Iris patterns are described by an iris code. To perform the recognition, two iris codes are compared. The amount of difference between two iris codes is called Hamming distance. If the difference between two iris codes are 1/3, then both the iris codes are from the same iris. 6. Facial recognition. Humans easily recognize familiar faces. Humans struggle to recognize unfamiliar face. For facial recognition, a digital video camera image is used to analyze facial characters such as the distance between eyes, mouth or nose. These measurements are stored in a database and used to compare with a subject standing before a camera. An optimal image is captured through a high-resolution camera, with moderate lighting and users directly facing the camera. Facial recognition are usually divided into two primary groups. 1. Controlled scene. In this method, subject is located in a known environment with a minimum amount of scene variation. In this case, subject standing about 2 feet from camera. This system usually comes to a decision in less than 5 seconds. 2. Random scene. In this group, subject appear anywhere within the camera. This system attempting to identify the presence of an individual within a group or crowd. 7. Signature dynamics. Signature is a biometric modality that uses for recognition purpose. Signature recognition uses multiple characteristics in the analysis of the individual's handwriting. It can be operated in two different ways. 1. Static. In this mode, user write their signature on paper, digitize it through an optical scanner or a camera, and the biometric system recognizes the signature. Analyzing with shape. This group is also known as offline. 2. Dynamic. This method will write their signature in a digitizing tablet which acquire the signature in real time. 9. Voice recognition. The voice is the combination of physiological and behavioral biometrics. The feature of an individual's voice are based on shape and size of appendages that are used in synthesis of sound. These physiological characteristics of human speech are invariant for an individual, but the behavioral part of the speech of a person changes over time due to age, medical condition, emotional state, etc. Voice biometric system work in the following way. It digitizes the person's speech, converting each spoken word into segments consisting of formants. The tone in the segment identifies the person's voice prints that are stored in database. The wave formed by a user's word produces an electrical signal's output from the microphone. This signal first sampled and stored in the database for comparison. 10. Unique Identification System in India. The Unique Identification Authority of India (UIDAI) is a central government agency of India. Its objective is to collect the biometric and demographic data such as photograph, 10 fingerprints and iris scan of residents, store them in a centralized database and issue a 12-digit unique identity number called Aadhaar to each resident. It is considered the world's largest national identification number. Project. The UIDAI Data Center is located at Industrial Model Township IMT Manesar in Haryana State. As of September 5, 2016, 105 crore Aadhaar numbers have been issued in the project and Indian government spent total 5,980.62 crore rupees. Aadhaar neither confers citizenship nor guarantees rights, benefits or entitlement. History. In 1999, after the Kargil War, it was realized that citizens in villages in border region be issued identity card on a priority basis. Later such ID card should be issued to all people living in border states. The UIDAI was established on January 28, 2009. In April 2010 the logo and brand name ADHAR was launched. Application. 1. Direct Benefit Transfer (DBT). Our project has been linked to some public subsidy and unemployment benefit scheme like Domestic LPG scheme and MGNEGs. In these DBT scheme, the subsidy money is directly transferred to a bank account which is Aadhaar linked. The Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas contract with UIDAI and hoped that ID system would help them to eliminate loss of subsidized kerosene and LPG. 2. Aadhaar-enabled biometric attendance system. In July 2014 Aadhaar-enabled biometric attendance system (ABAS) was introduced in government offices. The system was introduced to check late arrival and absence of government employees. The public could see the daily in and out of employees on the website attendance.gov.in. This website was closed temporarily for few months October 2016 to March 2010 but now open for public access.